Hi, welcome to our discussion on F Scott Fitzgerald's short story Winter Dreams. For those of you who are familiar with F Scott Fitzgerald, you have probably read his novel The Great Gatsby, which explores the sort of pursuit of the American dream and the opulence and wealth and status that comes along with it for Gatsby in the novel. Both Great Gatsby and Winter's Dreams have similar themes in this regard. They're both exploring that idea of the American dream and really the pursuit of materialism and social status that was equated with the American dream during this time of the roaring 20s, sort of the opulence that came along with all of that. So, with Dexter in Winter Dreams, much the way that Gatsby is presented in The Great Gatsby, we have a character who is born into a lower class, like a working or middle class, who is trying to sort of pull themselves up by their bootstraps in the way that we think of sort of American opportunity. And we get a character who ultimately achieves that wealth, but who is still left unfulfilled and unhappy. So think about Dexter as you read the novel as someone who is pursuing this American dream, this pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality. But his pursuit is really focused on the materialistic aspect of that. So the pursuit is about making more money, it is about entrance into the right social circle, it is about obtaining Judy Jones, the right girl, right? So, in the same way that we had Gatsby who was pursuing Daisy, we also have Dexter pursuing Judy Jones. So, there's a female character who represents that social status, that wealth, that idealized life that our protagonists are pursuing. So, as you read the short story Winter Dreams, focus on Dexter's pursuit of the American dream and the way in which Judy becomes a personification of that dream. Think about, for instance, when Dexter first sees her, he's caddying at a golf course. He's definitely part of the working class, right? And Judy represents that upper class that he so desires to be a part of. She represents that wealth, that status that he is longing for, that he sees in the golfers that he caddies for, right? So that sort of begins his infatuation with Judy and the glittering things, as Dexter calls them, that he wants to possess. He doesn't just want association with these things, right? He doesn't want to be a caddy who's around them. He wants to possess them. He wants to possess Judy. So, as we move through the story and Dexter begins spending more time with Judy, we see this American dream or this idealized version that Dexter has in his head start to fall apart, right? When he's at Judy's house and he's there for dinner and he expects sort of this grandeur, this pomp and circumstance, he's disappointed by the reality of the fact that upper class people who have money um, don't go through all of the pomp and circumstance that he expects. It's just a regular dinner, right? And then, of course, we see as he gets to know Judy more how deeply unhappy Judy herself is. Having this life, having this beauty, having this status, having this money does not bring her happiness and it doesn't bring her fulfillment. Then, in the end of this short story, we find out that it also didn't bring Dexter fulfillment, right? He's left feeling very desolate, very much in despair about not just his loss of Judy, but also the loss of what Judy represented, this idealized dream. He realizes at the end of the novel that in spite of having this great financial success, in spite of having this great business success, in spite of really becoming the American dream himself, he is unhappy. He's not fulfilled. So this leaves us wondering, why not? What is missing? What is it about the way in which Dexter has set up this idealized life or this idealized version that has left him feeling unhappy and unfulfilled? So I think that as you read this story, I want you to kind of focus on what message Fitzgerald is trying to convey through this. If we think about what the American dream is. It really is the idea of opportunity, right? But it's become associated with these materialistic aspects of making a lot of money, of having a lot of success, of having the right sort of wife or family, of having the house with a white picket fence in the suburbs, the right car, certain clothes, whatever it is. This sort of materialistic aspect has very much crept into our association of the American dream. And then if you think about the title, Winter Dreams, right? What does this represent? Well, our dreams are our hopes and aspirations, but winter, the description of our dreams as being something that we associate with a time of death and a time of emptiness, a time of starkness, isolation, desolation. The contrast of those two words together in the title, I think, gives us some indication of what Fitzgerald is trying to convey. So, a few questions for you as you read, things that I'd like you to consider. Why do you think Fitzgerald puts such an emphasis on this destructiveness that comes with the pursuit of money and social status? What does this reflect about his feelings or his message about the American dream? Why does Dexter and even Judy, why do they appear to be so unhappy and unfulfilled in their lives in spite of having the wealth and status and success and beauty that we perhaps would associate with a happy or idealized life? What message do you think that Fitzgerald is trying to convey about the American dream, about wealth, about social status, and about happiness and fulfillment? What's missing from their lives, for instance, that might bring some sort of happiness or fulfillment? And do you think that this text accurately represents the way that American people often choose to pursue this American dream? Do we think that the concept has become more associated with materialism and less with opportunity? Does our idea of success, when we think about what it means to be a success, is that intricately tied in with money or power or status in the way that it seems to be in Winter Dreams? So think about these questions as you explore the short story, and we will tackle them more in coming weeks as we continue to discuss the American Dream.